What's up, guys? Thanks for checking out another episode of Kenny's Record Collection. All right, well, we're going to get into this one right now. It's one of my all-time favorite Misfits records, and it's quite a holy grail. And I've always had a lot of suspicions about my particular copy, but thanks to the always informative On Earth as It Is in Hell book that came out last year, I was really able to determine its authenticity and what it really is. So we're talking about Misfits Bullet. Came out in 1978. This was the second Misfits single, their second release. The backstory is the Misfits had a record label called Blank Records, which they released their first 7-inch called Cool on. Mercury Records, in turn, was looking to start a label called Blank, but the Misfits, I guess Glenn owned the rights to Blank Records. So they made a deal. They kind of gave them an option to eventually sign with Mercury, and Mercury also gave them some money for studio time at CI Recordings. So the Misfits went in and they recorded an album's worth of songs. These songs later became what we know as Static Age, which was not released for another 20 years. But the original songs that they put out from those CI recordings was Bullet. Now, on Bullet, I'm going to show you the record. Going to be very careful. I even put pillows on the floor, so if I drop this, on the Bullet 7-inch, we have Bullet. We Are 138. The B-side, Attitude and Hollywood Babylon. Now, these songs, if you know them, you know how important they are to the Misfits catalog and just how great they are. I mean, give me these 4 songs and it's on. You know what I mean? They're such amazing songs, and the recordings are great, and they just sound just unreal. Unreal. I mean, as a young kid hearing these songs for the first time, I was blown away. And just the lore of everything with the cover of this 7-inch. When I was a kid, I had a bootleg of this. And just so many great memories around this music. Now, on these recordings, as in also on the Static Age album, you have Glenn, Jerry, as Jerry only for the first time here. He had to change his name because I think nobody could pronounce Kiafa, or I think they even spelled it wrong on Cough Cool. Then you got Frankie Coma and Mr. Jim on the drums. Now, this version we're going to talk about and we're going to explain a lot. Now, we're going to show the back cover. This says Better Dead on Red. Some Misfits fiends out there might say, wait a second. You have a black vinyl version. Why do you have the Better Dead on Red sleeve? That's crazy. Well, I felt the same way when I bought this a while back. I bought it at a record show. I paid a lot of money for it. As you people probably know, these do not go for cheap. Okay? But I had to get it. And even though I was a little bit skeptical, I had always heard the stories about what happened with this version. The original version of Misfits Bullet that came out was a different back cover. It was a back cover with a picture of the band. I'll show you from my book here what it looked like. And then we'll talk about why there were some differences. So that is the original back cover. And also, the original version was screen printed, and there were even some that were hand colored by Danzig himself. And I believe they were not glued. They would just, see that? How they were folded. Now my version, after tons of research in this book, I was able to figure out is truly authentic. There was a version where they had 100 copies of the black vinyl left over. The red version had already come out, the better Dead on Red version. They had sleeves left over from that one, and they had 100 copies of the black from the original run left over. So Danzig decided to combine the two, and apparently there was an order for a Midwest record store called School Kids Records, I believe, and it had something to do with Tesco V from the Meatmen. I don't know the entire story. Hopefully somebody will eventually step up and really explain what's going on. But that version, it's known as the third pressing, but it's not a third pressing. There's no third pressing. And according to my book here, they have a lot of hypothesis about the amount that have sold over the years. They've cataloged all of the sales on eBay, and there's a 10% theory where they determine like the pressing run. For every 1,000 that are pressed of a record, there's usually 10% that are sold on eBay. It's not a scientific method by any means, but they've figured it out over the years as far as an average wise, what would actually sell. 10% of a run. So they determined the original 1,000 pressed, or there may be a little bit over 1,000 of the black. So they had maybe 1,100 per se. They had the extra covers from the red, and here we go. This is the version. Second pressing sleeve. First pressing record. Now, there's also some ways to determine, if you look at the lead-in grooves, there are 4 grooves. There are some famous bootlegs out there of Misfits Bullet that only have 2 grooves. And also, the writing on the matrix, I believe that's Rich Flores, Brooklyn-based company, a gentleman by the name of Rich Flores. He's still around, still cutting records. In the book I have here, you can compare the actual handwriting, and my handwriting matches spot on. It says, hold on, let me get my glasses here. SP 1001 -A or -B, depending on the side, Misfits, and then RF, Rich Flores. That's the record. Now, I have something else. Now, in my book here, it doesn't particularly say that a third pressing would have come with the lyric insert, but mine has it. They also, in the book, they compare what the original inserts should look like and the telltale signs of if you have a real one or not. In the lyrics, there's a common mistake on the bootlegs where instead of the word dirt in the lyrics, on the bootleg it says dint. Now you could see here in the lyrics, I'm trying to get to it. The dirt's gonna be your desert. The dirt is gonna be your desert. Now in the bootleg versions, it says dint. Also too, if you look at the gun, behind the gun, it says Ricard, but backwards. Nobody really knows what that means. It's just one of those things. Nobody knows. So, again, in the book, it compares the two real versions of the inserts, and it tells you what you have here. It talks about the gun. There's a version with Ricard, and there's a version without. So that's that. Anything else that I have to drone on about with this Misfits bullet? Also, Super 7, as always, I shout them out. I love that company. They did a very cool version of the bullet figure. They made a Crimson Ghost bullet. Very sick. Back cover always looks like an insert that would come with a Misfits record, which I love. So that's that. Anything else? I mean, please leave me a comment. If anybody else out there has one of these third pressings, let me know, what yours is like. If you need any information, if you don't have this book, I'd be glad to share it with you. I know this stuff is a rabbit hole, and once you go down it, it's just amazing. There's so much to learn, so much to know. And yeah, so leave me a comment, please. Like, subscribe, give me some love, give me some hate. Just let me know you're out there, Misfits fiends. I mean, there's the collecting side is just, it's unreal. There's so much to know, and I'm still looking for 3 Hits from Hell. I'm looking for any of the Evil Live records. I'm also looking for a Cough Cool, but having a copy of Misfits Bullet to me is, they're up there. Horror Business and Misfits Bullet to me are just both holy grails. The iconic imagery and just the songs alone are, amazing. So yeah, everybody have a good day. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.